What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comic. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good, everybody? Salute. It is Sixth Element of Hip Hop. I am your host, Reno Noir. This is my co-host, Mike Sada. What's good, Sada?
Hello.
How you doing? We got our other co-host, Stu Dog, is taking the son to the baseball game or vice versa or whatever, but he'll be here in a moment. And he's got a cool little presentation for us. And but yeah, we got some interesting things to talk about today. I'm trying to download right now because y'all see I'm wearing my Monday shirt because it is Monday. And I can't wait. I can't wait to wear it every Monday, every week. I anticipate the day when I can wear this shirt again. I'm not even lying. But all that is going to change because the new shirt is on deck. And when I say new shirt, I mean the new shirt, you know, that's coming from the X-Men, the animated series stuff. And shout out to Jennifer Wiggins Pollard. Welcome. Hello. And so from the X-Men, the animated series, the shirt is Bishop right there, and that is from X-Men, the animated series. Let me get you a good shot of that. And I like to point out that the neck is very tight around, nice firm fit,
nice little chokehold.
Yes. Because that just it gives it just looks cleaner that way. It don't have that droopiness. It doesn't look sloppy. You look tight and fresh. Stu Dog, what's good? Just talking about my Monday shirt. And this Friday. So this Friday on Vintage Rush, because you got to check out Vintage Rush and the website. Let me throw that up on the screen for you guys right now. Boom. All right, there it is at the bottom, scrolling along. And that's the Instagram right there where you can find these amazing shirts. And I mean, quality is crazy. So, but the new one that's about to drop, check it out, y'all. Cable, my main Damie Cable, my homeboy. So he's got two versions. There's the Cable on the solid black tee like you see me wearing here. And then there is the faded vintage tee look. So if you're looking for your shirt and you want it to look vintage, a lot of people like this look. A lot of people like the old faded color. You know, they want it to look like a vintage shirt, like it's from the 80s or the 90s or whatever. And some people, that's just their style. So whatever you're into, if you like that crisp, clean cut, sharp black, you got that, or you got that faded, already lived in, looking like it's been on the backs of warriors battling through the apocalypse. All right, so check those out. And guys, so normally we talk about Vintage Rush they have the mega print shirts there with the print that goes all the way to the neck down to the sleeve. I mean, covers the entirety of the shirt, the image. So there's no cotton showing. All you see is the image. It'll be a giant page out of a comic or a cover or just some amazing art from Marvel. And those shirts usually run about $100, about $99, something like that. And when I'm telling y'all, the quality through the roof, crazy. But these shirts that are not mega prints, the one I'm wearing and the Cable, they're only like $60, $65. So it's a different option if you don't want the whole mega print, and you just want to get like a really, really high quality shirt. And I mean, like, this is like something that like Supreme would print their shirts on. Okay, Gucci. All right, like major labels would print their clothes on a T-shirt of this quality. That's the kind of quality you're getting. So you're getting like a name brand. You're getting like a designer quality T-shirt with the super dope comic logo. You can't beat it. Salute. Slade Wilson in the building. Yeah, see, Slade's down for the faded joint. And yeah, man, because there you go. You got either one. Bing bing. Bing bing. So I'm with it. Stu, I think your mic might be muted because we haven't heard you say anything. There you go. What's good?
Every time.
Nah. Nah, the shirts are dope, man. I like the way they're made. Man. I like that.
I love
I
them.
like that. I love it, man.
Yeah, they look.
Yeah, very crispy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
It's the shirt
so
you
right
always
now,
wanted but never can get.
it's the shirt you always wanted but never got. Like, you know, when you go online, when I go online personally, I like to wear a lot of graphic tees. So I go to Spencer's or, you know, whatever store in the mall might have the graphic tees, but for the most part, you get them online. And you always, you know, you're hoping when it comes, man, you just hope it's going to be a good quality shirt. And 9 times out of 10, they're really not. They're really just the cheapest bargain basement brand t-shirt, and they put the print on there cheaply. You know, it's crappy paint, it's flat, it's like it's gonna fade as soon as you wash or dry it, that kind of thing. And that's 90, and those you pay 35 bucks for those shirts, like from 80stees.com. Those are $35 shirts, and they're trash. I'd rather pay for my shirt and know it's quality, but that's because I wear t-shirts. If you're the kind of person like I wear t-shirts, but I also want to look clean. I also want to look good. I also want to look like I'm, you know, like I'm dressed. And so it's a balance. You can't just wear any old graphic tee and look clean. You're gonna end up coming across sloppy. So this way, like Stu pointed out, the sleeve comes all the way down to the elbow.
They come down to the elbow.
Yeah.
That's a real t-shirt. Yeah.
The neckline is tight around the neck. The band is like that wide. You know what I'm saying? The band around is super wide. So like I said, this is like what you would get a designer shirt. You know what I'm saying? Supreme or Gucci or whoever like that would make a t-shirt on this type of quality shirt. Shout out to Raw Talk, Real Deal. What's good? Salute. Original Origin. Peace.
Salute. Original Origin.
But yeah, guys, it's Monday, man. This is my Monday shirt, but it's Monday hip hop and comics. This is our show we do every Monday, and we just chop it up about comic books, hip hop, MCU, DCU, whatever it may be. And we're kind of mixing it up today. We got a little bit of DC and a little bit of Marvel for y'all. We're gonna talk X-Men. We're gonna talk some mutants and that good stuff. We got a little hip hop and some Shazam.
When are they coming out with the X-Men 97 remake? Man, what's up, man? Like.
Yeah,
I know we haven't heard too much about that actually since they announced it.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I want to. You know, I'm ready. I'm ready to watch that. I'm ready to see what's up. What's gonna go?
I know.
I think we have a release date or something.
Well, here's what we're getting. It's the reboot of the old animated series, and it has gotten a promising new update following the delay of more than a few Marvel Studio projects. A lot of shit's getting pushed back right now. Marvel is currently facing a lot of changes with the lack of success of Quantumania and all of that. They're from Blade getting a full reset, Armor Wars becoming a movie instead of a series, you know, all that shit. But the update for the X-Men 97 premiere basically it said, despite reports of Marvel Studios working to spread out releases and giving projects more time in post-production, X-Men 97 is still tentatively scheduled to debut on Disney Plus this upcoming fall. So we'll see in the fall.
Oh yeah, they said also in regards to that show, they said that it'll take place several months after the original series, and Morph and Bishop will be full-time members, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is super dope. Super dope. Because Morph was a great character, and obviously Bishop is a fan favorite, and it was kind of messed up the way they did Morph, man. So that's dope. You know, I'm real happy about it.
But didn't Morph die in the comics too? Like, didn't he like? get knocked off in the comics.
He probably had, and you know, listen, there's so many different X-Men. I thought about trying to think of all the different ones, but I can't. I mean, there's X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue, X-Men Red, X-Men Green, X-Men Purple, X-Men. There's so many, and then there's all the different New Mutants and X-Forces and Ultimate Universe and different, you know, so many iterations, and so yeah, I'm sure Morph has died in more than one, but yeah, he pretty much dies right away, I think, in the animated series, like episode 1 or something. But
they did him early.
Yeah, it did him early, but during the 5-season run of the X-Men animated series, the X-Men you know, tangled with Mr. Sinister on more than one occasion, and Sinister did like Sinister does, harvesting mutant DNA for his experiments and slinking off to the darkness to you know, haunt the X-Men another day. But another day is now, and that is as Sinister, you know, has been revealed to be the big bad of the revival of the X-Men animated series, which is cool, because he's a great character that hasn't really gotten a great shake currently in the comics in Krakoa. You know, he's got his own thing. The Sinister's got his own whole comic and whole title, and I'm undecided because I haven't read any of the newer stuff, but like in the early days of Krakoa, like 2-3 years ago, Sinister's being written as like a really flamboyant, a real zesty, a real saucy, super like very, very you know what I mean? Like so
sort of like Jack Sparrow.
More like RuPaul. But but like no, but not no, he's not I don't think that they're making him a gay character at all. I just think he's like a fashionista. He's very much into, like, you know, fashion. I don't know, it's weird. It's not where I saw Mr. Sinister going. It's not who I saw Mr. Sinister as. So again, I will be, you know, very skeptical of this cartoon coming up, because I love the X-Men, the animated series, my favorite things animated, period. But what was great about it is that they pulled the stories directly from the comics, and they pretty much gave us the stories that we loved from the comics in the cartoon. And that's all the fuck we want, Marvel. It's all we want. We just want to see the comics on the screen. Stop making shit up. But I digress. I'm not confident that this you know, this new regime is going to stick to the comics, you know, avoid being how Marvel has been being. He's a zesty elitist. Yeah, he was clone.
Zesty elitist.
No, so okay, so real talk. All right, so real talk is someone that is reading Krakoa right now, so that's cool. To have somebody in the house that knows what the hell I'm talking about. Lito's Way was good. Shout out to Lito's Way in the house. Yeah, so that's dope. But so I don't know what I was saying, but anyway, so during the Marvel Ultimate Unlimited celebration of X-Men 60 Uncanny Years, the showrunner Bo DeMayo summed up what we could expect from the series, which is expected to debut sometime this year, you know, in the fall. But Storm and Wolverine tried to continue the X-Men team. Magneto comes in and wants to step up for Charles Xavier. Sinister comes in to try to end the X-Men once and for all. And that's the official synopsis right now for X-Men 97. Officially from X-Men updates. Yeah, so verbatim, that's what they said. Storm and Wolverine try to continue the X-Men. Sorry, go ahead.
Because I remember, I can't remember the last one I saw. They were on Mojo's World. I think that's as far as I got.
Okay, I don't think. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it in years, but
I mean, they're on Disney Plus if you want to. Yeah, they're on Disney Plus if you want.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Sit through that.
I've watched some of them. Like I've been like, oh, ever since I got Disney Plus put them up, I've been watching like some of my favorite ones. But I want to sit down and like watch the whole thing, A to Z, before the new show comes out, just to really be refreshed on it, so I can really get a good comparison. Because again, man, this could be. I mean, dude, this could be so great because the animation from that show was some of the worst, like, ever. Like, it was terrible. Like that the animation was horrible. And I mean the actual animating of the images. The art was cool, right? The pictures were great. The characters looked great. The designs were awesome. I mean the actual animating of the characters, the actual movement was very choppy. Resolution,
It was. It was. The artwork was kind of
frame rate. Yeah, it was like a 20 frame rate.
Yes. Yeah.
But
it was like
we have the potential. I mean,
but it was what we had. It was what we had.
No doubt, no doubt. And I'm not complaining. I didn't complain then at all. But it's cool because it didn't age well. Like looking at it now,
looking at it now,
well. But it would be dope.
You watch that?
That's what I'm saying. Like give us modern, good great new modern animation with those stories. It could be the best thing since sliced bread. But again, I don't have like a whole lot of faith in the current people that are running Marvel, and so yeah, to me it's a 50-50 shot that we're gonna get anything closely relating to the original show. They could totally go, wokery. They you never know, but it sounds like a rewatch. Or a first experience for, if you haven't, maybe in order for the fans who might not remember why Magneto has to step in for Charles, because Charles is in space, right? Or why Sinister is so angry, right? Which is in a response to the tweet embedded that they put on Twitter with the synopsis. DeMeo indicated that while the summary is correct, an official and full synopsis, it will be revealed later. But that little sort of, synopsis, again, I'll read it. It's Storm and Wolverine try to continue the X-Men. Magneto comes in and wants to step up for Charles. Sinister comes in and try to end the X-Men once and for all. So, yeah. So that's where shit left off, and they're kind of... So the potential, again, is there. Like I said, 50-50. It seems like they might be going on the original, coming from the original story and all of that, which would be dope. Wepa! What's cracking? Comic Crusaders.
Mega in the house.
I love just popping out with a Wepa out of nowhere like that. It's awesome.
I know. Wepa.
Yeah.
Mega.
Professor X is he's in space, and I think with Lilandra. I think with
Lilandra, he did. Yeah, he is. I forgot about that. He is in space. He is in space. But I like I said, it's been so long, bro. I haven't watched them joints since the 90s.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Raw Talk. I know, bro. I haven't seen it back then. But that's what I'm talking about, Raw Talk. If they keep the wokery and this SJW madness that is sort of pilfering all the great comic material. But
we know
chances that are happening are like
we know,
but hopefully, listen, there may be somebody like we have at Star Wars. We have Dave Filoni, who's like, fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy and all your bullshit. We're gonna make Star Wars for the fans of Star Wars, right? And so there might be someone, which I think there is. I think there's somebody at the helm of this show that's not really part of that Marvel that's doing the crap that we don't like. The non-story based, non-comic based crap. So we might get something. We might get something faithful. We might get something that, like a fan of a student of the game is really into it. Lito's Way said, I want to know about the content and if the 90s censorship is going to damage it like it did a lot of cartoons back then.
Yeah, agreed. Because I remember vividly that it damaged the '90s Spider-Man show because he couldn't throw punches. They had to change. They couldn't use blood. It was just like a lot of censorship. So yeah, hopefully that
a lot of politicians involved.
Yeah,
a lot of politicians involved.
Yeah, define woke. Okay, so I don't mean woke like how we are actually woke. I mean that fake woke shit. That extra like performative woke shit. You know what I mean? That shit that ain't got nothing to do with reality. That's not about really about the culture or anything. It's just about, you know.
Whereas, and it would be
look at me, give me brownie points. You know, kind of.
Or they would change the name from X-Men to X-People because
that's the shit I'm talking about.
Somebody might be. Because nobody can be offended, and not that the word man is in one man, but you know,
it is.
We don't.
It is performative woke, right? I gotta credit that to Sada though. By the way, Sada's the one that gave me that term performative the other day.
Yeah, just
it's true. It's really bad.
It's just like, yeah, it's just things that when they're doing it, they are checking a box and they are trying to appeal to a specific audience or demographic, but it's not genuine. It's literally just to exploit them or make money from that. Like, it's not organic in nature. So it's, I guess that would be my definition of the stuff that I don't want to see. So yeah.
Yep. Right. Yep.
And it's true. Who wants to sit there and say, you got a little kid watching it, you got to explain certain things to him. You're like, look, why can't we just have fun with this? Like, kids don't care about that. Those are adult issues. Say those for the right place. It's the right place and time for all that, but not an entertainment, man. Because after a while, it gets dry. It kills off.
It's not even the issue that they're talking about or anything. It's not it's the way that it's done. It's when it's
done right
poorly, and it takes place of the story, and it just becomes, like Sada said, there's no better word. Performative is fucking perfect.
Yeah, but everybody's saying the same thing. They just want everything to be normal.
Our Highness and Sire. He goes by Lord Mega.
Yes, you will address him as Lord Mega.
Right. So the show should be coming out, and in the fall. That's I think the best that we got as far as updates. But it is.
Now, did they say anything about the animation? Has anything been said about the animation? Did we get a sneak peek, a glimpse?
No. But what they did say, they said that for skeptical fans, this is a spiritual sequel. The project will respect the work of what has come before, while also getting the rare opportunity to add to its legacy. And that was something that was instilled in the creative team behind the series from day one. Another, other than a small piece of performing art promoting the X-Men team that will be seen in the series. Not much else has been shown from the series. That image that I've shown that's on our thumbnail, but Marvel has remained adamant that the project remains on schedule and that it is, supposed to be loyal to the respect the work. Service. Well, to put it in their word, they said to respect the work that's come before. And a noted insider, Casey Walsh, revealed that Disney Plus's show is being planned as a 4-season effort from Marvel. So they got four seasons. They said it's expected to go and should come out in the fall. That's what they're saying. That's what he tweeted. And this is coming just a few weeks after the voice actor Cal Dodd revealed work had already begun on season 2 of the series, meaning that they'd already completed season 1. So that's promising that it's gonna come out when they say it will. I don't know how promising that is for the what people are looking for, and maybe they're still back in the time when they thought people wanted what they did with Eternals and those other movies. But
We never
in the
wanted
video,
Eternals. I don't know why Marvel always pushes Eternals on us, man. We don't want Eternals. We don't want the comics. Nobody wanted the movie. Everything always winds up going towards the Eternals in the Marvel universe.
well,
When it gets real big, they start pushing the Eternals. We don't care about the Eternals. We never did. You ever see that movie?
And
Was
they
it
haven't
Jingle
even
All the
like
Way?
referenced them at all.
yeah,
Yeah. You ever see Jingle All the Way? And they had Turbo Man, and they had his companion. Everybody bought
no,
Turbo Man. They
Yes.
ain't buy the companion.
Nobody cared
That's
about
how
the
it is with the
no,
Eternals. And nobody cares about the Eternals, man. Nobody.
yeah,
Nobody cares about it. We never cared. You can ask the hardest comic book fan you can find in this world, on this planet. They're gonna tell you the same thing. They're gonna be like, oh, they're all right, but whatever. They don't care. Nobody cares.
yeah.
We never cared about the Eternals, man.
Well, no, and that's Jack Kirby wouldn't want
Yeah,
Marvel
I don't
using
know
Eternals.
why they even bothered. It was a hot mess. Like they haven't even referenced what has happened in that movie with
Like
anything else in the MCU so far. And they had the Celestials. Like that's pretty big.
Yeah,
But no, not anything.
yeah. That would have been great.
So,
But yeah, raw talk, raw deal, man. I just wanted to acknowledge that's right. We said it all the time. We said that about Star Wars, about Marvel. These properties have already been strong female
established.
characters.
Yes.
Whole, lots of different cultures. It's always been that way. I mean, go to the comics. There's
Yes.
always and definitely as of the last 20, 30, 40 years, for sure. So it's silly that they feel that they have to just we gotta destroy the patriarchy, like all that is in Marvel is white males, but clearly that's not the case. So it's just silly, man. And that's what I mean by fake woke. I mean, yeah, everybody should wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Woke is woke, but fake woke is just corny, man. It's corny. But yeah, Jean Grey, I mean, look, you could go on and on and on. I mean, on and on and on. And like I said in the description of this video, Stan Lee created the X-Men and was inspired by the civil rights movement and stuff that was going on in the late 60s and basically modeled he said he modeled Professor X after Martin Luther King with the sort of the ideas of the nonviolence and inclusion and mutants living in conjunction and in harmony with humans. And then Magneto, he modeled more after the early Malcolm X when he was, all about separation. Like, we need to have our own sovereign nation. Let them have their nation. Let us have our nation, and let's be separate. Before Malcolm went to Mecca and saw the light. But so that's how he decided. That's how he created the leaders of the X-Men, and the Brotherhood were the leaders of the civil rights movement at the time. So the X-Men has always been.
That's ingenious.
It is. But yeah, in a video on her personal Twitter account, the voice actor Cal Dodd showed himself back in the studios and called this sophomore effort just the beginning of the X-Men 97 journey. So they're like all gung ho. They're ready to go on and on. Season 2 had been previously confirmed, but it was unknown that the recording was already in progress. So that was news. That was good news. As for how important this series will be to the MCU, how related it will be to the MCU, if we can expect the type of shit that the MCU has been giving as of lately from that and stuff like that, there's not been an official confirmation from Marvel Studios that seemingly has some plans for this X-Men follow-up series and how that will relate to the X-Men versions of the MCU versions of the X-Men. The original animated series ran for 5 seasons with 76 episodes. And assuming that X-Men 97's 10 episode first season will be the norm for the series, that will give another 50% jump in total episode count. So it'll be basically it'll be the same. And while 97 will showcase the X-Men world as what they said, a very different place than when the series was first made, and this is what worries me. The pseudo sequel will have plenty of time to honor the legacy left behind by the beloved original series. With so that quotes like that are red flags to me. It says, again, he said, the X-Men world of this show will be a very different place than when the original series was first made, which shouldn't really be, because it's the same world. It's from the world of the comics that the X-Men are from. So we kind of already are getting hints that it's not going to be from the comics, or at least not from the same comics that the original series is about. Hence the storyline maybe not quite matching up, but I'm down for some new shit. I'm down for Krakoa. I'm down for all that House of X, Powers of X. Like, dude, if they made that show about House of X, Powers of X, Krakoa, and all of that, it's monumental success, bro. If they stuck to Jonathan Hickman's work from Dawn of X and just kept going from there, dude, no problems, bro. People would love it. Love it. Comic fans, casual fans, everybody would dig that shit, bro. And that's probably why it won't happen. That's probably why we won't get it. But I seriously doubt that's what they're gonna do. But anyway, so with season 1, again, it's already done and it's gonna debut this year. Season 2 in production, maybe close to being done. We can definitely expect this show to continue at least until 2026. So it'll be running for the next few years. That's cool. And that leaves basically one season per year, running right through the end of the MCU's multiverse saga. So it'll end the same time the multiverse saga thereabout. And, hopefully after the multiverse saga, it'll be all about the mutants. I mean, that next phase should be the mutant saga.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say that. I think they should
did the
just go
Infinity
with that.
Saga. We're doing the multiverse saga. Let's do the mutant saga, because it's a whole fucking thing. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole new thing. Yeah.
You can't do mutants in a movie or 3. You can't. You need a phase, which shows, animated, movies, all that shit, comics, you need a whole phase just to touch the mutant fucking stories, bro. And if fans were anticipating Marvel's Band of Mutants to appear in the MCU before the end of Phase 6, then this new report would definitely burst that bubble, unfortunately.
Right.
So, but Marvel will likely let this series run its course before introducing any of its own takes on these characters. So, that's not to say that there will be no X-Men or mutants appearing in the MCU until this show's over, but they will just be likely, legacy characters, like kind of like how Namor is a mutant and Ms. Marvel is a mutant, and like they have all these sort of mutants that are in different stuff, but like the actual X-Men movies, the shit like that's going to come after the series is over, I think. I hope. That would be best. I don't want the X-Men. I don't even want the X-Men to be part of this phase. I don't want to see nothing about the X-Men in the MCU until they have their own phase. I don't like, yeah, like you can give me characters in these Marvel movies and shit. X-Men characters all day, bring them on. But I don't want to see like the X-Men films until it has its own phase.
Now, okay. I mean, with its own phase, though, do you think people would get tired out by that? Because that could shoot themselves in the foot if you don't space it out. Like, we're already kind of at a point where it's like, I'm tired. So if we get a whole thing of mutants, it just depends on how they do it, I guess.
Because the X-Men, the X-Force, New Mutants, Marauders, what else? There's Excalibur, There's so many. Cyclops and Jean Grey. There's the Ascani. You could go future. You could do Age of Apocalypse. There's so much X-Men. There's so much mutant stuff that they could literally spread it out and it would not seem redundant. It wouldn't just be a bunch of X-Men movies. That's not what I'm saying. Not a bunch of X-Men movies. What I mean by a whole phase, I mean there is so much there is so much stuff behind mutants in the comics that most people have no idea about. All people really know about is X-Men. Some people know about X-Force and some people know about New Mutants, but that's pretty much where it stops. And there's so much more, and it could be it could definitely remain fresh. But I just think it would need, and maybe not a whole phase strictly about mutants, but they definitely need to be a major part of a phase, not a movie at the end of the multiverse saga. Fuck no. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
But
yeah, I think if it's spaced out properly, then they should definitely be a big part for sure, because they've been teasing them for a while now. So
that's what everybody's been asking for. Everybody's been asking for it.
Right.
And they just
that and the Fantastic Four. So
yeah, we definitely want a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, it needs to be paced properly. Original X-Men movies were all Hugh Jackman Wolverine movies, plus they did not start with the real First Class. 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
That
hopefully they branch out, because there's so much variety. So
yeah, good thing X-Men do have a large variety, so each thing could seem different. That's what I mean. They could restart with the first 5 battling Juggernaut. They have unlimited source material. That's what I'm talking about, Raw Talk. They have unlimited source material. There's so much shit. Mutant Affairs do deserve more than a couple movies and shows. Integration should be handled carefully. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. There's just too much to cram. And that First Class movie, it would have been cool to see. Listen, we talk about it all the time. It just would be cool if they would just stick to the source material. If they would just stick to the comics and give us stuff from the comics, like First Class, give us the actual first team that Professor X actually brought. Let's see how the second team came in, and we got Storm and Wolverine and Sunfire and all the other characters and Colossus and all that. So it's a whole thing, man. And then they could go Hickman. The Hickman stuff, the House of X stuff is so different, so vastly different from the old school stuff and the stuff that we've seen already, and they definitely need to redo Age of Apocalypse, or just redo something with Apocalypse. We need a new Apocalypse, because that was horrible.
Yeah, it was. And they presented it to us like it was the best thing in the world.
Man, I was so hyped for that end credit scene, just to be disappointed.
We need this guy. This is the one we want. This is the one we need.
That's the one we need.
That shit they gave us. Oh man, that was just bad.
Oh, you know what it is?
Dark Phoenix. That's another one. Dark Phoenix is a crazy dope story, and that's another story. Phoenix that could.
Oh, we don't need that again.
No,
we don't need that again.
That's
not right now.
Tragedy. No, you're right, and that's tragic because they tried to do Phoenix every time that they did it, because it is a really great story. They never did get it right.
No, they can't.
Right. They never
can't, because you know what the problem is, Reno? Look, you ever go to you ever see, like, in your school, the 2 biggest bullies in the school are gonna fight, and then everybody's like, yo, they're gonna fight it, and you get there and all they do is talk trash to each other and push each other's shoulders.
Right.
Then they leave. Right, yeah. That's what it's like. The material's there. The potential is there. They just don't exploit it. They want to do their own thing, and they want to write these stories that nobody wants to see on screen. And they think it's good, and it's not. Like Ant-Man. When they wrote that first Ant-Man movie, the Marvel writers, they bragged about, they were like, yo, we wrote that script. Like, we gave them that story. It was a good story. There we go.
So I was like,
but now, Yeah.
No, because Norin said something. I'm sorry, I want to interrupt Stu, but Norin said he wanted to see the Brood.
Yeah, the
Because
Brood.
they haven't been done, and it made me think I've got this dope cover with Wolverine turning into a Brood alien. Y'all chop it up. Let me get it.
Do it. Yes. I want to see that. That's good.
Yeah, the Brood. I would love to see the Brood.
What is
That
the
would be dope.
Brood? I don't think I've heard of the Brood.
They're like these aliens, like alien,
Mm.
but they're like aliens. If you ever
Yeah,
seen
the
Alien, they're like
they're
aliens
like
from Alien.
Yeah.
yeah, they're like a hive mind, you know. And yeah, they do look like the what you call them, the alien, you know, the what you call the not Cenobite,
The aliens from Alien.
the Xenobite,
Xenomorphs.
Xenophage, Xenomorph.
Xenomorphs.
Yeah, but yeah, they're like insectoid type creatures, and they travel through space and look for hosts to infest with their spawn, and they're thousands of years old, and they apparently have been in the Milky Way, you know, way before humans and all of that. But they the TV show or a show has a heavily altered version of the Brood called the Colony in the animated series in the original X-Men animated series. So if you watch the episodes with the Colony, and the aliens were more reptilian than insectoid, so they tried to, the show was good about taking stories from the comics. They did change it a little bit, but you knew what the story was, and it wasn't like so convoluted, and it wasn't like that character's from not even from this fucking era. Like, why is he here and shit like that? Like, that's not happening. They didn't do that kind of crap too much, but yeah, they did. They did. You know, the insectoid. And they had, you know, like metallic tentacle armor instead of having that organic tentacles like the Brood has. And then instead of laying their eggs in other people, they would infect, you know, other races and stuff. But it was, it would make a great, movie. It would make a fucking hell of a great movie, dude. And it would. Yeah, it would. They do need Bishop. We gotta have some Bishop. Method Man needs to. We need Method Man. I want to see Method. Well, what did you say, Sue?
To play Bishop.
Gotta give me.
Yeah.
Now, Age of Apocalypse would be a good movie, but they're gonna miss that.
Yeah, it would, man.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
And the Four Horsemen. I always liked that too. The Four Horsemen. I always thought that.
Apocalypse. You know what though, that they have not done that would be like a dream come true. I'm gonna see if it's up here. Let me grab it. It's called Messiah Complex. Ooh, this shit here.
Oh.
Fatal Attractions is another one they could do. That would be the dope.
Yeah, Fatal Attractions would be sick. Inferno. I mean, dude, there's so many, bro. There's so many. They're stupid. Let me see what this. Actually, the real reason why they don't want to follow the source material is because they would have to pay the original writer royalties. Notice that the MCU all have variations of the original costumes. It's that. Yes, it's that. It's a big part of it. And they just and then the guy that makes the movie wants to say, "Look what I made. Look at my creation."
Did right. Yep. This is what I did. Yep.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to say, "Oh, I just."
And I didn't have to pay anyone a dime. I get paid.
Right. But yeah. So it's called Messiah Complex, and then it goes into Second Coming, and Second Coming Revelations. But it's all, you got Apocalypse in here. You got Cable in here. You got Bishop in here. Hope Summers in here. Like some real heavy hitters. Some Mr. Sinister. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is in here. I think the Brood is even mentioned. They're dude. Everyone. This is a great, and it's like post-apocalyptic future. It's got time travel, bro. It's everything, man. There's this one mutant. So, and this goes back to, dude, this would be brilliant. Dude, this goes back to House of M. This goes back to Scarlet Witch and No More Mutants, which I really thought Scarlet Witch was gonna have something to do with the mutants because of that. But so Scarlet Witch is mad that Professor X and them have shown her that her children that she's been, living with in her mind are just in her mind. They don't really exist. She created them in her head. And out of the, sort of anger for the truth being revealed, she just says, no more mutants. And because she's a reality warping god at that point, it just wipes out all but 198 of the remaining mutants. Doesn't wipe them out, doesn't kill them. It just takes away their mutant power. They're no longer mutants. They're just regular humans now. No powers, none of that. And so nobody was born a mutant anymore. It wasn't just the mutants that were, existing lost their mutant ability. No new mutants were being born either. And one day a new mutant was born, Hope Summers, and so she's like the chosen one. And way in the future, and Cable's got to protect her, and he's like running through time, and Bishop is chasing him through time, and it's fucking good, bro. Apocalypse and the Strife is in there, bro. Listen, I'm telling you, it would be a fucking cream dream. It would be the shit.
Okay,
what's
dream?
A cream dream. Lito's way. Do we introduce the concept of the X gene and mutant issues before introducing the X-Men, or just start with the X-Men and show the mutant issues through them?
First part. I think because they've already been slowly hinting at people being mutants. So I think they should just do that and then lead into the X-Men. I think to start with the X-Men is very jarring. And I mean, like, it's familiar, but as far as like this narratively, I just think it's too jarring to start.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. Right. It wouldn't make a lot of sense.
No, I don't think it makes sense.
Not just
I don't see.
No, I don't.
No, I mean, I get what y'all saying, but I think
they've already.
Both. Like, I think you can mix it. I think you can mix it together, and then do like a small flashback, and then move on with your life.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
or introduce it in another movie. Introduce it in another movie.
That's what they did. They introduced it in another movie, and we've already gotten, we've already heard about mutants in the MCU. That's already done. But I would like to see
raw talk. I thought that's what they were gonna do in WandaVision, and they kind of backed out, I think, because they didn't. Like, I don't know. I thought that's what they were gonna do, and then they haven't touched on it. So I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully that's what they do, because I feel like that's the best way to go about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I thought too. Because like I knew that she'd be involved. I just knew it, and because everyone was like, "Well, how could they just make the mutants exist? How could the mutants just pop in if they, hadn't been here? Where have they been? Blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Well, that's easy. Instead of no more mutants, now there's mutants, something to that effect." And it would have worked. And yes, Hulk versus Wolverine, dude,
so good,
phenomenal.
That would be so great.
That'd be something.
That would be it, bro.
Probably never see.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep
Cooks
on wishing. That's all I can tell you.
Shout out, Cooks.
That's all I can tell you. Just keep wishing.
I know. What would be the first origin story in between these if they did it right? The first origin story for the mutants. I mean, for me, it's Weapon X. That's all day.
I think that would probably be the way to go, especially because if they're gonna introduce adamantium in that new Captain America film, then that's like the best way to go, I think. And then just go from there. So
that's what they're talking. That's where I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna do because they're introducing adamantium. There's no reason to introduce adamantium but Wolverine. There's none. Adamantium,
it's other people. It's other people with adamantium.
Doesn't matter. He's the OG of it. there would be no reason to bring it out first. He's the first
Well, they
one.
did. They already got Colossus. Ain't Colossus made out of adamantium?
No, he's not adamantium.
But either way, when you hear adamantium, the people are going to connect it to Wolverine. Never saw Miss Marvel.
Of course.
It didn't lead to anything other than the reveal. There was no consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just sort of said it and it was forgotten. If you noticed it, cool. If you didn't, so what?
Yeah.
Basically. Don't need another
really
origin.
Don't, Warren Brad. We don't.
Yeah. Sinister origin would be
easy. That would be amazing.
It would. And the mutant,
it would, but they'd mess it up.
You're
cloning, right. Yeah, the cloning aspect, because Sinister is all about cloning, and that could be how they explain the mutant gene and getting in, and all of that. Mr. Sinister is a genetic scientist, so that's kind of what he does. Was the X gene mentioned? I don't think they've said the word X gene. I don't know though, because Namor they said was a mutant, but
no, they've never mentioned the X gene. No.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I'm not like a super encyclopedia of the MCU. MCU.
They have not. I can say that they have not said anything about the X gene.
They played X-Men theme song.
And said her gene was mutant.
Gene was a mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they played the X-Men theme song. Dang. I just saw screenshots of it. That's crazy.
Wow. They did mention the X gene, but did they say the word X gene, or did they just say her gene was mutated?
I guess that could be one.
Or did she say she had a mutant gene, or did they use the term X gene? Because I could be wrong. Yeah, Leo's way. I don't know. Let's see what Norin says. I'm not sure. Cook said, "What would be a great X-Men war story you all would want to see for the first phase?"
4 Horsemen.
First phase. Oh, I don't know.
Age of Apocalypse. Age of Apocalypse would be a good one.
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
they just said mutant.
Oh, okay. So I guess that could be one.
I would say
interchangeable. I don't know.
Yeah, what would be dope though would be Onslaught. That's something they've never touched on. Onslaught is crazy, dog. Let me tell y'all something.
Crazy. Yeah. Yes.
When Magneto and Professor X become one being, and it's just crazy, and he's like, beyond Apocalypse, dude. Onslaught was crazy. Bro, that's a whole phase. That's what I'm talking about, man. There's too much. The mutants, like the MCU is the MCU. I feel like the MCU is just the Avengers. Really, it's not like the whole mutant side of Marvel is a whole like universe. You can be into Marvel comics and never touch an X-Men comic, never see Spider-Man, and be flush with content and never be able to read it all. And you could never see a single Avenger or Spider-Man. There's that much mutant stuff in Marvel. Imagine if they did a Wolverine Disney Plus series instead of a movie property. I think it would be a better way of introducing various storylines. All right.
Yeah.
Here's how I'm gonna answer.
I think it could be good. Yeah, it just depends. But go ahead, Reno. You answer first.
You want
me to go?
You started.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think it would be good, but the problem is the way that they format the shows now. They treat it like it's homework. And so if you go to a movie and you didn't watch the show, you're going to be hella confused. Like they don't make it in a way in which you can enjoy both separately and understand what's going on, or watch one and not watch the other. It's just like, I don't know. It really depends on how they format the show. So,
yeah. Basically, what I was going to say was that in a perfect world, I prefer shows to movies if they're done. Like Game of Thrones would have sucked as a movie because you couldn't fit all of that into 2 hours. Like I love the fact that a great HBO show, for instance, is really like a 10-hour movie per season. If it's done like a movie, if the show is done with the quality of a movie like HBO does, or Showtime, or even AMC has done. I mean, Breaking Bad was to that level. But like, you know, the way Disney Plus has done them, and like Sada said, the way that they format it, like, no, a Disney Plus show, a 6-episode little Disney Plus show, no. But if they would do a damn series right, like the way HBO did, Sopranos or something like that, if they would do a series like a cinematic way, fuck yeah, all day. But they won't. So
now, do you think like the mutants, like, because Norrad said like the TV would fit better? Like, do you feel like the mutants should just strictly be TV to kind of flesh all that out, or could they work have like their own movies and stuff? Because I feel like they might work better just as TV shows, honestly.
Well, if they did it, like if they did it just about but like not if it's gonna be like how Disney Plus has been doing, like a 6-episode mini series that that
don't
type
make
of
sense.
Nah, but like,
I mean, it has to be like the Daredevil series. That's going to be like 18 episodes, I think. But the thing is, the runtime is only probably going to be like 30 minutes. So
now this is what I like.
I
would like it to be the phase.
That's good.
Movies with time. That's what I mean. But when I say like being the whole phase be mutants, I don't mean just a bunch of X-Men movies. I mean like the shows are mutant related. They tie into the films, like, because there's a whole lot of content. It doesn't have to be all X-Men stuff.
All X-Men, right?
And X-Men versus Avengers. Hello.
Yeah.
One of the best stories.
That'd be dope. That would be dope. Well, here's one for you. They could do
the best plan, Norrad.
Here's one they could do. They could do
that's the best plan.
Here's one they could do. They could do a TV, because we know they like doing short series. And you could just do the original X-Men, and each episode would focus on a different X-Men. Boom.
Right.
Then you throw them in the movies, and we all good. Yeah. I
like
sure you do.
Yeah, like the specials.
The specials. Yeah. Each
like
one to focus on a different. Yeah, each one to focus on a different X-Men. Hour long. We good.
Guardians. Yeah, Guardians did the holiday special, Werewolf by Night. So that was like their little hour-and-a-half format, right? They've got their shows, their 30-minute format. They've got their hour-and-a-half special format, and then their whatever 2 hour-and-a-half feature length. But yeah, if they were to do the specials, but they would have to just do a lot of them, like a lot of them. But that's what I'd like to see. I would like to see a series of hour-long episodes, like real hour-long episodes. Like, let's get a real production. And like, listen, man,
50 to 55 minutes without credits.
Yeah, Amazon Prime does it. Netflix does it. Like, they all do it. Why is Disney Plus act like they can't do it?
Because Disney always trying to nickel and dime everybody
as
much as they can. Just like when they came out with the little toys they had with the game, Disney. Was it with the little figures? They dropped the ball on that so bad because they were trying to get as much money from you as they could. They bought out a new one, a new disc every year, a new platform. And everybody was like, "Nah, we're not supporting this. If y'all gonna do this every year, we're good. You can keep your little figures." Disney Infinity was a great idea. It could have been still going till today, and they messed it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, I remember I used to see that in stores. I was like, "Oh, maybe one day," and now you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, because they got greedy. They just got greedy, like. Yeah, and then like you could from each year, you had to get a new disc every year. So every year they made you pay $50. So you're like, damn, or you can expand onto that. Like, and so every year I gotta spend $50 on Disney Infinity, and then the old, some of the old characters didn't work with the new. You had to get a new base, and the old base didn't work with the old. It was dumb, man. They messed it up.
They did.
Really did.
That was a real missed opportunity in a lot of ways. But yeah, Savage Land would be crazy. Sauron, hello.
Savage Land, oh yes.
Sauron,
that would be super dope. Sauron, that would be super dope.
And Lito, I feel like a lot of mutant stuff should be series, like shows about kids finding out that they're mutants being hunted, experimented on, etc. The only thing is, guys, is I would hate to see it. I would hate to see it turn into like a CW show. And no offense to fans of CW shows, Sada,
Oh
It's just
no,
not.
We
hey,
like
I'm only a
CW
big,
shows,
big
man.
fan of one of them because one of
Oh,
them
okay.
actually has like good production value.
Oh, okay.
But no, you're right. Like I
Yeah.
agree, but I feel like with Disney, I
Yeah.
would hope they wouldn't be stingy with the budget. That's the thing.
Right. But look what they did. Look
And
what they gave us with Obi-Wan, and
I
I mean,
know.
they don't care about they don't care about us, man. They
Yeah.
hate us. But no, I mean, they've got the money. You can't tell me one of the biggest companies in the world. I mean, especially media wise. I mean, Disney, come on, and then Marvel and Star Wars. You can't convince me that money's tight. Like y'all do not have to cut corners. You don't, and don't they say like it takes money to make money? You got to invest it to turn it around, and they wonder why they're not making money and why these movies ain't making money. And then they're gonna be, oh well, the fans
Yeah.
don't. The fan. It's not the fans' fault. Don't fucking blame us. Put some money behind the shit. We
Right.
deserve quality. You gave us Endgame,
Yeah.
okay? You already showed us Endgame. We're spoiled now.
Right. Right.
You can't.
And you're charging us, and you're gonna be charging us $100 for Disney Plus after this year. Come on, man. Y'all got money. They got money.
Yeah. Well, now that's
Yes,
what they're talking now. They're talking
man.
now. That's what they're talking.
Proper
They want
pace,
to. They
not
want to
too
switch.
much.
They're
Not
talking
too
about
little.
going
It's top,
They
top,
need
quality.
top.
oh, they need to do something.
Because
Yeah, because the way Ant-Man Quantumania performed at the box office, oof, buddy, oof.
Yeah, man. That's that, and then not to get too far off topic. Well, that would be pretty far off topic. But speaking of box office bombs, Stu, do you have the presentation, sir?
For
Oh yes,
Shazam.
yes, because Shazam was such a disappointment in the fact that he's
The
so
box
much more than
office
what
would
they
agree
make.
with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
man, he's so much more than what they make him out to be.
Right.
And in my opinion, they make him to be like a clown.
Yeah,
and that's not Billy Batson. That's not Shazam.
Let's talk
Shazam
about who
is
Shazam really is.
yeah, Shazam is he's one of DC's most powerful heroes that they have.
Mhm.
And there's been several versions of Shazam, from rebirths to ultimate versions to even avatars. Like we even had avatar versions of him. But one of the most powerful versions of Shazam is Captain Thunder from the JLA Destiny storyline, and it's an alternate reality, which has Thomas Wayne founded the JLA, and the original members were Manhunter, which is Martian Manhunter, Clock, Midnight, Mr. Scarlet, and the lineup changed, and Thomas Wayne added somebody to make him even more powerful, which was Captain Thunder. Because in that timeline that DC presents to us, there is no Batman and there is no Superman. And according to Earth 1, those are Earth's mightiest heroes. Batman with his rigid ways, and Superman just with his Boy Scoutness and all the power that he has. So that's one version of Shazam that's super, super powerful. He's just as powerful as Superman, and he's just as bold as Batman. So he's like a mix, attitude-wise, of the two, but with all of Shazam's powers.
Right.
And then you have Willie Fawcett. Now, you probably never heard of Willie Fawcett. Y'all probably never heard of him. But he was another version of Captain Thunder, who was an avatar of Billy Batson. He just appeared out of nowhere one day, just like poof, and was like, "Damn, wow, what is this world? Like, what's going on here?" And he sees Superman fly over, and he's chasing these criminals. And he's like, "Yo, what is this dude doing chasing these criminals?" And in order for him to turn into Shazam, he has a magic belt that he rubs, and he says, "Thunder." I know it's 60s. It's 60s. It's 60s. He rubs the belt buckle, and he says, "Thunder."
And instead of a lightning bolt, he's got like a circle with like a cloud almost.
With a cloud on, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
he gets into
funny.
Now he gets into a fight with Superman, and he almost gets Superman. He almost beats Superman up, but Superman manages to get him in a headlock or like a figure four, and then tricks him into bringing the lightning down on him, but instead of striking Superman, Superman put him in front of the lightning and turned him back into Willie Fawcett. And then he was like, he said it again, changed back. And then the story just gets weird after that. So I'm not even going to get into it because it gets really weird. But the point that I'm making is that he fought Superman to a standstill. Like he gave Superman work. He beat Superman so bad. Superman was bleeding from his eyes, his ears, his nose, his mouth. Like he gave Supes work on that one.
But what's crazy? Captain Thunder was in the Flashpoint. Crossover event too. They brought.
Yes, he was. I'm getting to that. I'm gonna get to that. Matter of fact, since you brought that up, I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna go to that next. Now that Captain Marvel, a version of Captain Thunder, he's got a scar on his face, and the scar is from a fight that he had with Wonder Woman. Captain Thunder from the Flashpoint timeline, that version of Shazam has 6 different alter egos. So how you see on the movie, how all the kids say Shazam and they all turn into a different color one else.
Right.
Well, in this timeline, which was the Flashpoint one, they all say Shazam together and they turn into one person. So each one carries one of the attributes. So they had one of them was in Solomon, one of them was Zeus,
like Captain Planet,
Mercury. Yeah, just like Captain Planet, or just like the Tomorrow Children. If you know what Tomorrow Children was. Yeah, Captain Planet. Yeah, they all. It was like what they say. It was like 4 kids, and they'd be like Gold Planet or something like that. And they all had different colors.
I know that. I only know that because of Rick and Morty. They did a spoof of Captain Planet, and there was like 3 guys, and they had rings, and they would say something, and then they would put the rings together and become the Captain Planet character. But I never watched Captain Planet, but I assume that they were, that's what Captain Planet was like too.
It would. You know what it's more like? If you ever seen the Tomorrow Children, and they turn into Infinity Man, and they say Tauru, and they all turn into Infinity Man.
Yeah.
It's the same. Right, it's the same. It's the same concept. But they turn into
funny
Shazam.
too about Willie Fawcett, because Fawcett was the name of a comic company.
Fawcett Comics.
And wasn't it?
Yeah, Fawcett Comics.
I don't know why that sounded so familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was Captain Marvel, so like kind of I think it might be like a play on that Marvel Fawcett, because I think Fawcett was like what Marvel was before they were Marvel. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, my bad. Go ahead.
It was a separate company. It was actually a separate company that's where Shazam started, Fawcett Comics, and then DC bought.
Right. Okay.
And then that's when we got Shazam. Right. Yeah. So now you got Shazam of Earth 5, aka Thunderworld. Now that universe is home to the Marvel family and all its allies and all its friends. So Black Adam is there, Mr. Mind is there, everybody, all his friends, all his foes. Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel, and the Lieutenant Marvels. This is an Earth it's a dedicated Earth to Shazam and his family and all the related characters. Shazam is the big cheese there. He's the Superman. He's the Mano Imano. He's the Golden Age version, which is more powerful than Superman if you go back. But we're not going to get into that. But we do know Shazam was made to be just as powerful. But he also was more popular than Superman back in the 60s.
Right.
The 50s. He was really more popular. Yeah.
Shazam was very popular. Like from our childhood, he was not popular. We didn't really know shit about Shazam.
No, we didn't know
Shazam
was
everything, right? Because the big movies and everything, Superman was everything. But yeah, Shazam used to be like a household name, like and shit. Captain Marvel, really. But yeah, that was a big character.
Now you got Shazam from Kingdom Come. Now in that storyline, Billy Batson didn't turn into Shazam for years, and is tricked into doing so by Lex Luthor. Now Lex tricks him into fighting Suit, and in that series, he really gives Superman work. He brings Superman to his knees, and I mean brings him straight to his knees. I mean Superman's bleeding and everything. He's like, Batman, do you bleed? We'll see. And he gave him work. But once again, Superman outsmarted Captain Marvel, tricked him into bringing the lightning down. He jumped in front of it, changed him back into Billy Batson. He talked Billy into like, look, Billy, we ain't supposed to be fighting. Lex tricked you, man. Let's go get Lex. So he's like, all right, you know what? You're right. Yeah, she's boom. They go beat up Lex Luthor. So, in every instance, we know for a fact that Shazam is stronger than Superman. We know this. And even Superman said he lacks the maturity because he doesn't know how much power he has. He really just doesn't. And Superman says it. That's why I'll always beat him. You have Lord Marvel. Billy takes on the wizard's position after the wizard dies, and he becomes Lord Marvel, and he is all powerful. Point blank, end of story. That's it. And even then, he's more powerful than Superman. And everybody knows Superman is probably the most powerful man in DC universe, but Shazam's more powerful. The new god, Shazam, which Billy loses his connection to the wizard and the gods and their powers. He just loses it. Doesn't have none of the Greek god powers anymore. And so the wizard draws powers from the new gods, aka Yuga Khan, aka High Father, aka Metron, aka Darkseid. And so the first one that he drew power from was Darkseid's father. But Darkseid's father was like, yo, this Joker is pretty powerful. So wait a minute. If he's got all these guys' powers, what if I get him?
Right.
Fortunately, they get into a little scramble. Yuga Khan loses, and it shows how powerful Shazam is. And Yuga Khan is quoted saying that he's so strong that he can punch a hole in the source. There is no character in the DC universe that can punch a hole in the source, except for Captain Marvel. And that's new god Shazam. Unfortunately, DC never did anything with the character. He does exist. He is canon, and DC just shelved him. They bought him, and then they shelved him. Another interesting one, which Reno might like, is Earth 3 version of Shazam, which is Mazaz, and which is Shazam spelled backwards. Now that version of Shazam is Alexander Luthor, and he is evil. And what he does is he steals the powers of anybody he defeats. So any hero or villain he defeats, he steals their powers. And a perfect example is he stole the powers of Johnny Quick, and he also stole the powers of Firestorm, which would be what was he when he was dark? When he was the dark one, he was Megastorm, I think they called him. But anyway, he stole Firestorm's powers. He had Firestorm's powers, which meant that he can pretty much do anything he wanted, on top of the powers that he already had as Shazam. So that's another powerful version of Shazam, and that's on Earth 3. DC, even Warner Brothers, they just won't showcase it, man. Like it's like I said earlier, you want to see the two biggest bullies fight.
Like Raw Talk said, this Shazam from this movie is based on the animated version where he's used as comic relief.
Yeah, he's a goofy kid.
It was done way better in the animation. It was done.
Animation is always better. Yeah, DC animation is always
like
better.
There was more of a balance. I felt like.
Sada, that's the Brood Wolverine.
Oh, that's the Brood.
Yeah. That's just the artistic rendering of Wolverine, like as infected by the Brood, but that's not what the Brood looks like. They look like big ass, like a big cockroach.
Yeah, xenomorphs. Yeah, like xenomorphs. So hopefully Zack Snyder or somebody, I mean not Zack Snyder, hopefully James Gunn can take over and make something better out of Shazam than what we got.
Yeah, I would love to see the actual Shazam. You know what I'm saying? The one that the comic Shazam, you know, because the cartoon Shazam, it's corny, and that's why it will turn certain fans off, and it will only appeal to certain type of, you know, fans.
Right? Like Black Adam. People don't realize when you watch Black Adam, they show how powerful he is. And Amanda Waller even says it. She's like, that Joker is powerful.
Yeah.
Like, Like the only person who can really go toe to toe with Black Adam is Shazam.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Yeah,
They're
because
like,
Superman.
no.
Nope.
No, Superman.
Zachary, I mean,
Superman ain't got
Zachary
what it
Levi, according to the reviews and what people have been saying, he was just like over the top in that second movie. I don't know if you guys can verify that, but they were saying he was just like doing too much as far as trying to be a 17-year-old or whatever. Zachary Levi, who plays Shazam.
Yeah.
I felt like in the first movie it was okay, but I didn't see the second one, so I'm not sure. But they're saying
People like, you know what? People like the first movie.
Yeah, I don't.
The first movie,
the first
people like.
Was better.
Get with it.
I liked it better. Yeah, I liked it better.
Yeah,
I liked the first one better.
I like the first one. I think it's watchable.
But, yeah, the way he plays it is not. He's really. Isn't Billy supposed to? You said like 17, right? Like he's like 17.
Well, he's like in his teens, so it's like right when he started out, he was like 13. He was like 12 or 13. Right. Okay, yeah, he was like 12 or 13 when he got the powers.
He's acting like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, where this guy he is supposed to be 17 at this point. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's like because even in the comics he grows up. Like he gets older, and that's the problem. They never on the movie they like, oh well, he's 17 but he's 9. Like, come on, that makes no sense.
Yeah, and that's right. They were both overacting too far the other direction, when in real life, a teenage guy in an adult body, you're really not going to notice the difference until you like notice decisions that they make and shit would be indicative of a teenager. But the way they pretty much act and behave and stuff is not going to be that different. It's not like going to be a little kid. Like that's not how, so you won't really see much of a difference. And so I guess to sort of portray on the screen that I'm really a kid in this body, they have to kind of act, because if they just acted normal, you wouldn't tell. It would just be normal.
I mean, but that's kind of the point. I felt like I thought, like, I mean, it just didn't have to be that obvious.
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
My goodness,
he said it didn't be that obvious. Wow.
No, exactly. No, it's too.
You can just do how they did in the animated stuff. Like, like Reno said, it comes out in the impulsive decision making, and when he would have those moments of like nerding out, seeing the Justice League and stuff, like just little things like that. But like,
well, the one thing they got right was he's always had a crush on Wonder Woman. Like even in the comics, he's always had like a secret crush on Wonder Woman. Yeah. So that's one thing.
And they did put that in the movie, but that was so cringy. Oh, that was so cringy. That was me. I don't know, Stu. You liked it, right? The Gal Gadot scene.
Like I said, I give it an average score, man. 2.5 couches out of 5. 2 couches out of 5. That's it, man. It's like it's. I'll put it to you like this: I definitely won't watch it as much as I watch Black Panther. I can tell you that much.
Never.
No, he's seen Black Panther a bunch of times. That's 2.5 couches.
It gets to 2 to 2.5 couches, man. I give it. The only reason why I give it the half a couch is because the visuals were great. Like the visuals are great. I did like the cinematography. I thought it was superb. But as far as the story goes, it's just average, man. It's nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I saw it at home. Like I'm glad I enjoyed it on my couch. Had I went to the movies and seen it, I'd have been a little perturbed. Yeah. But sitting at home watching on my couch, I'm good. Like I'm like, it was good.
Yeah, that's what the couch scores are all about.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're better from home than they are from the theater.
Yes, they are. I agree.
It's better off the couch. Rumors. The rumors that Sacha Baron Cohen is going to be playing the devil Mephisto in Disney Plus series. That they're talking. So yeah, they are talking about he's about starring as Mephisto in a Disney Plus special set within the MCU. According to a trusted industry insider, Jeff Snyder, of the Hot Mic podcast, a Marvel Studios special presentation about Mephisto is shooting right now. Now that's a special presentation, so that's kind of, I'm thinking that's going to be like the werewolf show, the Guardians show. Like that's one of those special presentations. So that'll probably be like an hour and a half, one episode thing. And they're shooting it now on the set of Marvel Studios' upcoming Disney Plus series, Agatha Coven of Chaos. So yeah, it
we didn't ask for that, but we're getting it.
You know what it is. I know.
There's no
I know.
way.
But no, what it is.
And I'm not being mean. I'm not ragging or anything. But
nah.
All right, you gave us Scarlet Witch. I mean, why would we like? We were good with Scarlet. We were good with WandaVision.
Agatha.
Right,
Yeah.
we were good. Nobody cares. It's like
Like
nobody cares
about Scarlet Witch. Honestly, that was like, I watched it because okay, it's the first Marvel show. Let me check it out. Like I'm not like a Scarlet Witch fan, and Vision was so lackluster in the movies. Like it wasn't. I don't know why they thought that was the move anyway. But then now this whole Agatha thing. They're gonna need,
That's a joke.
They're gonna need Mephisto. Okay, that's this show. I'm glad this rumor is here because it's gonna need characters like Mephisto and things like that for anyone to give a shit about an Agatha show. Obviously, it's not gonna just be about Agatha. It's gonna be all the cool Marvel characters that they should be bringing in. Maybe we'll even get some Ghost Rider. Who knows? Because
I wish.
It connects.
Man, I don't know, because they teased Mephisto in WandaVision, and then they just didn't follow through. So it's like I don't want to see him with Agatha.
What is it? What is it about? What is it about? What is it about?
Dark. What's about the whole dark? It's about the whole. What do you call it? The dark hold? And the whole Marvel's version of hell and the demons and the devils and the witches and all of that stuff.
I feel like there's just no way they're gonna actually do Mephisto. I hope I'm proven wrong. But I really don't know.
Right.
Because he's basically the devil. I just don't know if they're gonna touch that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're filming a special presentation about Mephisto. I think they're going to be talking about the character Mephisto as he'll be in the show Agatha. So you know how they do those special presentations where it's kind of like a behind the scenes thing? That might be what they're talking about. But obviously the special presentation banner has been a supernatural MCU projects sort of vehicle with the Werewolf by Night making the sort of the werewolf thing, and then the characters like Elsa Bloodstone and Man-Thing. And then their second presentation was the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is definitely a more sci-fi thing. But Mephisto, he's the devil sort of, but he started in 1968. Silver Surfer #3 is where he came out, created by Stan Lee. And he was definitely depicted as as an archetype of the Christian devil. Mephisto is actually inspired by Mephistopheles, which is a demon originating from German folklore. Okay, so he's not really the devil that he's not supposed to be. But Mephisto is perhaps best known for his involvement in the Marvel Comics' infamous One More Day story arc, which played out within Spider-Man titles from late 07 to 08. And fans have definitely long been speculating that Mephisto might appear in a Marvel production. I know we thought he was going to come a bunch of times, but with the discussion particularly heating up around the time the Disney Plus series WandaVision premiered to kick off Phase 4. Phase 4 obviously has come to an end, and the character has yet to be, seen. But if these new reports, this is not the same old rumors before. These are new reports that it seems that Cohen, Sacha Baron Cohen, is going to be actually playing the character, and coincidentally, Cohen would not be the first Borat subsequent movie film lead to make their way to the MCU, because Cohen's co-star Maria Bakalova, recently joined the franchise as the voice of Cosmo the space dog in that Guardians of the Galaxy special, and she will reprise her role too. By the way, in Guardians Volume 3, which is cool to see Cosmo straight out of the comics, a character out of the comics that is, like you said, Sada, a character like Mephisto and is one end of the spectrum, but Cosmo is another character that would normally seem too comic-y for them to put in the movies, and they're putting him in the movies, so that's a good sign. I like to see. I love to see that. So that's a good.
But the thing is, like that, I agree, but I feel like Mephisto is such a dark character. I just don't know if they're really gonna follow through and like give us the Mephisto that we want and that we should get.
Right. Well, so. if you kind of look at how dark Wanda got, that the end of WandaVision got pretty dark, and I mean the very
but then they tried to walk back all that she did. See, that's the problem. They try to walk it back.
Yeah, that's true.
But the movie,
they
even
did it in
got
Multiverse
dark.
of Madness.
Yeah. But the Multiverse of Madness was it was different, but it still was dark. Like I can imagine them. I don't think Mephisto's too over the top for them, the way that they would do it. I mean, obviously Sacha Baron Cohen. What do you say? Baron Cohen, if controlled, could be good. His track record speaks for itself. He would be a kooky Mephisto. Sorry. Plus, they need to sell that Marvel Legends figure they made for Hasbro. Yeah.
Oh.
Y'all, y'all a mess, man. Y'all cruel.
I'm just saying.
I just want to know. You know what?
They have a track record. They have never been truly villains for the most part, like literally never. Even with Wanda, they have tried to walk back all of that she has done since WandaVision. They did it at the final episode, and they tried to do it at in Multiverse of Madness. They just cannot commit to someone just being bad for the sake of being bad and being unapologetically evil. Like, they can't commit.
Yeah, and Agatha is supposed to be that super evil character, and but they might go with that Fox's Lucifer, because I could see Sacha Baron Cohen just in his regular human form, not being red, not being looking like a devil, just a guy in a suit, and see them going that sort of route, which would suck. But I could definitely see them, like you said, toning it down in that sort of way. But Sacha Baron Cohen has been Borat, and he has been on these goofy ass roles, but he's got some serious roles too. He's done some roles that I was like, whoa, I didn't know he had the chops like that. Like, he's got some chops. Bro. He's not a goofy. He's not just a goofy actor. He's not. Let me find out what that movie was. Do you know what I'm talking about, Stu?
Yeah, he played in what is this name of that? Johnny played in. And I'll come to it in a second. I just want to know one thing about Mephisto. What is the deal with Mephisto? Like, everybody loves Mephisto. Like, I know Joker's like even back in the 90s, people like, oh, Mephisto. I never got it when it came to Mephisto. I've always tried, but I just never could get it, man. I never could understand. What the deal was with Mephisto, man. Like, people get excited. They be like Mephisto. Like they get really excited.
I guess because of the storylines that he's connected to. I want to say that might be the main reason, because I know that he was connected with Scarlet Witch and everything. And that's why a lot of people thought he was going to be in WandaVision, because I believe he was partially responsible for the birth of her children. And I know he interacted with Spider-Man, and he's linked with a lot of people. So I think that might be why, just because of the connections that he has across the Marvel universe, and people just kind of want to see that.
I don't got it. I don't.
I think that's it.
And that's not me talking in a bad way or anything like that.
Right.
Like when you say Mephisto, when if you had a bunch of if we had like 500 people in comic book wise that knew, and somebody bought up Mephisto, everybody would go crazy. Like, oh yeah, I just never got it about him, man. I just like, I mean,
Yeah.
I like the character. I just never could understand why people went wild over him. Like Mephisto, like when he was in Marvel versus Capcom, the game, people went crazy. They wanted to be. I gotta use Mephisto. It's just something about him. People love it.
Yeah,
Man.
I think it's just because of the characters. Like, if you see Mephisto, people are gonna be like, "Oh, is Ghost Rider on the way? Oh, is this on the way? Is this on the way?" Like, it's just, I think that's really what it is. He could open the door to a lot if he actually makes his appearance in the MCU.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and like at the time when they were first saying, "Oh, Mephisto," that was at a time when it was like, what characters is Marvel gonna bring out? And we were like all excited, like you never knew what character was next. And it was like, oh, there's a lot of signs really strongly pointing to this character. That's Mephisto, yeah. So then everybody got decided, oh, it's Mephisto. I don't think there was like a particular, like, oh, Mephisto is just the super badass character that we've all been wanting. I don't think it's really that. I think it was just like they figured it out, and so they got hype about it. But I was looking up some other, to back up that rumor. And there's a bunch of stuff on here. This one says, fans were convinced that Mephisto was going to be behind the mysterious goings on in WandaVision right up until the finale, but the demonic villain was nowhere to be seen. Now it's looking more and more likely that the character is going to be seen everywhere over the next few years. Though casting hasn't been officially announced, Sacha Baron Cohen is expected to make his debut as Mephisto in Agatha Coven of Chaos, and it seems Marvel Studios may have seized the opportunity to film a special presentation featuring the villain during production. Okay, so that solidifies it. So when they're saying special feature, they mean like a behind the scenes, like the making of kind of a feature. So they're filming Agatha Coven of Chaos, and they've got a cameraman on set filming scenes with Mephisto, and they're talking about Mephisto and doing a little video, a little special presentation to introduce Mephisto to the casual audience who might have no idea who it is. And so that's what's, and according to the Jeff Snyder, the insider guy, on the latest episode of Hot Mic, he said the project was already shooting. So he said, quote, he said, they told me there's a Mephisto special filming on the set of Agatha House of Harkness. It sounds like they may be doing his very own special. End quote. That's what he said. And if this is accurate, you can probably expect the trades to weigh in soon. And Mephisto is said to be the main baddie for the upcoming Ironheart series as well. So he'll be introduced in Agatha, and he'll be the main baddie in Ironheart.
Wow,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We shall see.
We'll take it. So
I wouldn't be mad if that's true, but we'll see. Then there's another one here that says, last October, reports indicated that Marvel Comics villain Mephisto would appear in Disney Plus series Ironheart with Sacha Baron Cohen attached to the role. More recently, there is a new rumor which suggests Sacha Baron Cohen will also play Mephisto for a Disney Plus special presentation that could appear in Agatha, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's just more confirming. So, yeah, it's a bunch of places, a bunch of outlets are saying this. Does not mean it's a fact by any means, but it's definitely plausible. So, and I again, he looks like Mephisto, dude. Like Sacha Baron Cohen, like he's got that sort of long face, and Mephisto has that long head. I mean, dude, that could look at that. Look, they could easily make him look dope, like Mephisto. And like I said, he does have.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about the visuals. They always kill it with the visuals. It's just the writing. They just drop the ball, especially with their villains, almost always. So, oh, he is. Oh, I didn't know that.
Got a pact with a lot of heroes, like Ghost Rider pacts. Yeah, I mean he does. He makes deals with people and stuff like that. Dr. Doom fight Mephisto every year for his mother's soul. Yeah, true. Yes, the chops, but Disney will downplay the evil like they do with all their wicked characters, of course, and they will make him a tortured soul
Yep,
with conflicted morals every time.
pretty much.
Every time. They always want their villains to be understandable, to be relatable, to be, you can kind of see their point, maybe. And
Yeah,
they
they even
try to
did that
do
with
this.
Loki.
They did that with Loki.
Yeah,
They did
they
well.
did
They
it with
did it with
Loki. Yeah,
Thanos. They did it with Kang. So they're trying, and I think that they think that what they're doing is they're making the characters not be two dimensional. They're trying to give them depth but we do need a bad guy that's actually a bad guy, because so far, like, even Thanos wiping out half the universe, like, he was kind of doing it for a good reason. Like, I kind of feel him. Like, he's kind of got a point. And so that's not how Thanos is in the comics. Thanos just wants to kill everything to impress Mistress Death. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like,
doesn't care.
that's
That's
just,
true. Yeah,
I mean, that's so they do that. They definitely do downplay the evil, and they try to give them substance, but it does come off like they're just making them, they're Disney-fying them. That's what it comes off as.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really need substance. Some of them don't. Like, okay, he's just a complete and utter sociopath. Great, I can work with that. Let's go.
Yeah, we should get
or
one
he
or
just
two
really
of those.
hates such and such just
Right.
because it just makes their blood boil. Great,
Yeah.
I can work with that. I can work with that.
Right.
I don't need his like life story, and then we just
Right.
get to the nitty gritty. Like,
Yeah. I don't need to sympathize with the villain. I don't. It's cool to have, listen, I'm one of those guys that always rooted for the bad guy in the movie, right? Like, I'm Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas. Like, I always liked the villain. I always liked the anti-hero. That's just I don't know why. But so that's
not
just,
alone.
so but
You're not alone in that one.
oh no, I know. It's pretty common. So but they won't ever give us that real nasty evil.
Nah, they're not.
And,
Well, Heath Ledger did. And it was.
well, that's
They
not
never
Disney,
got
though.
it after them. Nah, that's not Disney.
That's
Not
Disney.
Disney.
No.
But no, Disney's never gonna get. The problem with Disney and Marvel is Disney is never gonna give us what we want, because there are too many people inside that
When they're
have an
trying to
idea
please
what.
too many people.
Right. They're trying to please too many, and then they already have something they want to present to you. Instead of letting the creators that you
Right.
put in charge to create this content do their thing, you always got your hand in the cookie jar. Kathleen Kennedy's a perfect example. Just let this stuff roll the way it's supposed to roll.
Right.
If you don't, look what you get. Like, same thing with Marvel. Like, Marvel's the same way. When I went back and watched Captain America and all those movies, they were good, but I was like, yo, these movies, like, they're really good. Like, they had depth. They stood up the test of time. I was like, yo. And now I see why people are complaining. Thor is a perfect example. You watch the first Thor movie, the second Thor, you're like, yo. You watch that third one, then you get to the fourth, you're like, wait, hold on. You're like, wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
The fuck?
You're like,
then
what
you see all the
happened?
stuff
Like,
in
bro.
between with Thor. It was like, what happened?
Right.
Because you know what happened, Sada? Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy
Damn.
had the people. Well, it's so good. Why can't we make the rest of our movies like that? And then we'll make a boatload of money, because they'll all be like, Hollywood does not like to be original. They like to copycat and go with what's good. So that's what it is. They want to make money back on their investments. And the best way to make money back on your investment is to be creative. Give people something they want. Give them something new. Give them something they want to see. Get creative. We don't want to see Thor Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't want to see Iron Man Guardians of the Galaxy. We want to see Guardians of the Galaxy.
And the thing was, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, oddly, is my favorite Marvel movie, but it's also what ruined the MCU, because, it's like you were saying, they tried to copy that success, and so they made every movie after that a comedy, right? They tried to, because Guardians of the Galaxy had a heavy comedy side to it, and it was the first Marvel movie that really did that really well. And so if you notice, every Marvel movie after that has a heavy dose of comedy, way more than before, to the point that they kept trying it they kept trying so hard that we ended up with Love and Thunder, and it got so bad. Like Love and Thunder is just, oh God, it's so bad. Like it's just so bad. It's just shitty
I was
joke
gonna
after
say
shitty
I
joke.
was gonna say just say it. Just let it go.
No good. There's nothing
Just
good
say
about
it,
it.
man.
Nothing good about it. Like I have,
Yeah, just say
and to
it.
keep it a buck, I haven't finished it. I've never even seen the whole movie. I can't even get
I
through
watched
it.
the whole thing, man.
I can't.
Dang,
And
Stu.
it's
I
sad.
mean, because if you lost it, in my opinion, just do it. You didn't have to put Chris Hemsworth in it. You could have did that whole movie without him, and it would have been just fine.
Yeah, well,
But you
they're trying to
didn't,
make.
and then you could have made another Thor movie. Could have made another Thor movie, but
Yeah, it's right around. It's right around. They
yeah,
killed. They killed Iron Man and all that shit. Like it's just,
Yeah,
it got
because and like
corny.
they lost so much of their star players because
Yeah.
Black Widow was gone, Captain America, Iron Man. So that's RDJ, Scarlett Johansson, and Chris Evans. They are household
Mhm.
names and they're gone now.
Right.
So
Right.
they really have to rebuild. And then they're
I
trying to
would.
make everybody have Iron Man's personality and it's not working.
it's
So,
not working.
it's just a
Yeah.
whole lot of
Yeah,
things.
you're right.
I was like, okay, no, I don't want to see Marvel without Robert Downey. No, I don't. Like, no, they can't do that. What are they gonna give us? Like some new unknown kid, like actors, and make the Young Avengers and shit like that? Oh, no, please, that's not. Doesn't even sound good. But hey, man, Wolverine and the Hulk. Okay, like the Hulk and Wolverine is the only way I think that they can pull back out of that. Doctor Doom maybe in Galactus, like shit like that. Like they're gonna have to get the rights for the Hulk and make a real Hulk movie. Get the rights for the X-Men, do some real X-Men shit correctly. All right, you know what I'm saying? Give us Doctor Doom, not just the villain in one Fantastic Four movie, but an overarching big bad Doctor Doom, Galactus, not a cloud, but like a celestial sized thing. Yeah, man, they could do it without Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, but they would have to go like you said, Sada. They lost the star power. They're gonna have to go for character power.
Power. Yep.
Like you
It's
don't have
true.
the stars, okay, but you got the characters. Don't matter who play those
It's
people.
true. No
Doesn't
matter
matter
who
who
plays
plays
it, right?
Galactus. He's gonna be dope. Doom is gonna be dope. It doesn't really matter who's behind the mask. If you you got the right CGI, you got the right script and the right direction, you can make it.
It'll take off. It'll take off. It'll make some money.
But I'll tell you right now, Kate Bishop, Patriot, like the Thunderbolts, that's not gonna replace
The
the
Thunderbolts.
Avengers. It's not.
No.
That's a. Did you see the Thunderbolt? Look at the lineup, dude. Just look at those characters, bro. Oh, it's sad. It's pitiful. The Thunderbolts should just be like Thunderbolts should be like the Suicide Squad. It should be a side team. It should not be the main. And they're talking about like that's supposed to take the place or be the new Avengers. Oh no. Oh,
Yeah,
hell.
they probably were thinking that way. They probably were.
Yeah. I
Yes.
agree. Raw talk, I agree.
Yeah.
Contracts are getting crazy.
It's a double-edged sword because it had to happen. The actors
Yep.
were ready to go. The contracts were getting crazy, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it just put them in a place where they have not come back from yet.
Well,
So
no, because the only way they can come back from it is with the characters. Like you the actors are gone, and so those characters are gone, but there are other characters that can take that place. There are big, main characters because the Avengers, let's face it, were not that popular before the MCU. No one was checking for the Avengers in comics. No one cared about Thor and shit like that. People weren't reading that, like a little bit, but for the most part, like no, like Spider-Man and the X-Men, like that's really what has people, the modern day. Like those are old school characters that They brought back, revitalized, made them popular, made them fresh, made them new. Bravo, did their thing. MCU, and I hate people trashing the MCU because the MCU gave us an era of comic book media that's actually good. That's something that we never had. You know, we grew up in the
it's
80s
true.
and the 90s with you know, subpar fucking movies, you know, and even the big great ones weren't that great. Like, so
No.
now we're getting blockbuster budget comic book content, and that is due to the MCU. So I got to give it up to them for that. So,
Oh yeah, you can't front on the MCU at all. Yeah, you can't front on them for what they did. It's just, I think people just got so used to getting such a good product from them.
yeah,
That
spoiled.
when they actually made something that, they didn't like, they were just like, oh, they're done. That's not the case. And even the movies people say are, like, I thought Ant-Man was okay. I didn't think it was as bad as everybody ragged on and said it was.
Nah, I didn't either.
It was
I
just
didn't think it was
The first one
nearly
I
as
thought was
bad.
good. After that, no. But the first one I thought wasn't bad. I didn't think that
The
one
first
was
Ant-Man was good, but this new Ant-Man was good to me. I liked it. I totally liked it. I did not. I didn't like no part
yeah,
of
I
that
did
movie
too.
sucked to me. I didn't like. There was nothing bad about that movie. Like it wasn't all that. Like I'm not,
No.
but
opposite end.
I can't really like be. Yeah, okay. MODOK looked like shit, but they're not like some stuff I have to accept. And like, yeah, MODOK was a whole bad character. Like, yeah, they're okay. I dial that back. There's some things
Whatever.
about that movie that weren't the best, but for the most part, overall, that movie was not that
But
bad.
you can live with them. But you can live
I'm
with
on
them.
the opposite
Like
side
stuff
of the
that.
spectrum.
And I think you're probably in the majority there. I think most people didn't like it for some reason,
No,
but
you
I
are.
don't know why.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, I
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
why.
okay.
I thought it was fine.
I liked it better
Like
than. I
I
tell you
like
what,
Black Adam too.
I thought Black Adam was good too. Black Adam was another good one.
Corny, had a lot of cheesy and cringy shit involved, but for the most part, it was not
Still
the
good.
travesty, the DC ending shit that they made it out to be. And I think that they pumped it that way because they had this whole James Gunn thing, and they didn't want to let The Rock take DC and run with it because had Black Adam been successful, you already know, bro. DC Rock would own DC.
That
And
would
they
be
didn't want
unfortunate. But yeah, that's
it would be
probably what would have
unfortunate.
happened.
It would be unfortunate, but that's where it was
But
going.
they say
And
Rock. They say
I
Rock
think
does
they
that
want
everywhere he
that.
goes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why he's
he
not in the
does.
Fast and Furious anymore because they say he tried to take over.
Vin Diesel said, "Get your
Then,
ass out of here."
yeah, then they came out with Hobbs and Shaw. They had to give him Hobbs and Shaw, and that didn't do too well. So Rock got to learn to stay in his place, stay in the Rock's place. Just do that.
Be a rock. Be strong, stable.
Yeah, because it's like every franchise he gets in, he comes in like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
make it the best franchise it's ever gonna be.
right.
You never seen nothing.
Like
Can you
Donald
smell what the
Trump.
Rock is cooking? Yeah,
Dang, let's
and
just
then
get
next thing
past
you
the
know, you're
first
like,
movie.
It's gonna be the
right,
greatest. It's gonna be the best.
right. Like I said, Black Adam
Huge.
was
It's
good,
gonna be huge.
but
It's gonna be
he
huge.
just, I don't know, Rock took it to another level.
Yeah, man. It's not.
Yeah.
Stu Dog. I gotta tell you, in a shocking move, Star Trek's Mr. Spock has officially been declared an enemy of the Federation. The fuck?
Oh,
Star Trek Defiant, the first spin-off from IDW publishing flagship Star Trek title, just launched in grand fashion as Worf brings together a ragtag group of the 24th century outlaws and criminals to fight the growing menace of the decidal Klingon cult known as Red Path. Spock allies himself with Worf, and when his team steals a starship, Spock and the rest become official enemies of the Federation. The issue is written by Christopher Cantwell and is
I've been
the
trying to
Red
find the
Path.
comic. Can't get it. Been trying to find that
Yeah.
comic. I can't get it.
Oh yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Defiant. Yeah, it The Red Path, a fanatical Klingon cult led by the clone Emperor Kales, is cutting a path of destruction across the universe, killing its godlike beings.
That's
It becomes Kalis, sorry. Yeah. Killing its godlike beings. I don't know. It becomes personal for
you
Worf.
good, yeah.
Alexander joins them. Taking matters into his own hand, Worf leaves the Thesis, I guess that's the ship, crash landing on the planet in the Romulan Empire. There he meets Ambassador Spock, who agrees to help Worf in his quest. And they realize they need a starship, but listen, we know Worf's a good guy, and we know Spock's a good guy, and it's just that right now, Worf, they think he's an enemy, and so Spock joins him, and so I guess Spock officially is an enemy of the Federation, but he's not. I don't think they're trying to give us say to us that he's now a bad guy. That's not what they're saying. But he is right now an enemy of the state. So that should be interesting. So for Star Trek fans, yeah. So again, I don't know a lot about Star Trek. I know my dad was a huge Star Trek fan, so I grew up, always watching the shows and stuff. I think I got to about Next Generation before I moved out, and that was the last I saw of it. But it's dope. Especially the new movies. The new Star Trek movies are really good. And so I've slowly become a curious fan of Star Trek.
That's the Kelvin. That's the Kelvin timeline that they're actually going to do away with. They're actually gonna really do away with the Kelvin timeline. J.J. Abrams isn't directing anymore. Chris Pine is being a dick about the whole thing.
Stu agrees
so
with
they
you,
had to,
Raw Talk.
times 100.
Thank you, Raw Talk. Yes,
every week.
I watch at least once a week. Yeah, I watch at least once a week, as many times as I can. Yeah, J.J. Abrams put together a good thing with Star Trek, the Kelvin timeline, and the actors, mainly Chris Pine, they messed the whole thing up. I mean, you had a death in the movie. There was a lot went on with it, but they were good movies.
I liked them.
Yeah, they were really good.
I thought they were great. Yeah, because they gave me that modern action that I would get from like a Star Wars movie that I missed. See, like like as a kid, like the reason Star Trek, like as a little kid, Star Trek was boring to me versus Star Wars with all the action and Jedis and lightsabers and Darth Vader and all that. Is like Star Trek was just like everybody's wearing the same suit and they're sitting on the ship and yes, Captain, and yes, Captain, where are we going? Yes, Captain, Captain. That's it. That's all as a little kid, that's all I saw. So, but I think these movies, it was great because kids wouldn't be turned off immediately like we were in the 80s. So that was one cool thing I thought these movies did really well is they could attract anybody. Whereas, yeah, Star Trek is a I don't want to say it's slower than or it's just more it's sci-fi, okay? Star Wars is fantasy. Star Trek is sci-fi. Star Wars is not sci-fi. Star Wars is not a sci-fi movie. It's not a sci-fi franchise. It's a fantasy franchise that takes place in space with lightsabers. But JJ does great Star Trek, not great Star Wars. So there you go. Because you do great Star Wars does not mean you do great Star Trek and vice versa.
Now, he did great Star Trek. I mean, listen, they were phenomenal movies. I like the way he explained the Kelvin timeline, how he bought into it. And we could have got a few more good movies out of that.
Did they end that? That whole thing is over now?
They're trying to, rumor has it that Chris Pine finally said okay and he would come back and everything like that. But the problem is they don't want to do the Kelvin timeline. They want to go back to a more traditional. Ever since Strange New Worlds came out, they want to go back to a more traditional sense. So they want to reboot it and bring back and bring back to the original timeline, and have the same crew but have them do the events as they happened or were supposed to happen. Like
How
with
is it
Khan in the
different?
second, because in the second movie, all right, in the second movie, okay, in the first movie, when Captain Nemo when Captain Nemo used the ship to travel into the past, what he did was he killed Kirk's father, and then he set
Captain
events
Nemo?
back. Yeah,
Who's
Nemo,
Captain
Nemo,
Nemo?
Nemo, Nemo. That was his name. Nemo. That was the name of the captain. Nemo. He was a
Oh.
Romulan. He was just a
Oh,
Romulan.
the Romulan
So
dude, right.
yeah. So anyway,
My bad.
what he did was he set events back. Like he set everything back. So Kirk was
Oh,
born
right.
when he was supposed to be born. Everything happened with, but it all got pushed back because of what he did. Kirk's
Right.
father wasn't supposed to die on a starship. He was, Kirk watched him grow to be an old man. So
Yeah.
now that kind of pushed Kirk back from joining Starfleet. It took him like 5 years. He didn't join Starfleet until 5 years later.
And
Instead of
something
in
happened
5
with
years,
the old Spock too.
well, Spock came back to the past looking for Nemo,
Yeah, he
and
went through
then
the
they captured
timeline.
him, right, and then they put him on that planet. They destroyed Vulcan. That was another
Mm,
thing that messed up the timeline. They destroyed
mm.
Vulcan.
I never.
Kirk.
Yeah, I thought
In the
they were
second movie,
trying to
because
make
they
it.
set it back.
It's like a
Nah.
reboot, really.
In the
It's
second,
almost like a reboot.
yeah. In the second movie, because they set everything events back, instead of Kirk and Spock and all them finding the Botany Bay. What's his name? Peter Weller found the Botany Bay and released Khan. And then that set
Mm.
things in emotions differently. That's why in the movie they asked him, it was like, "Yo, did you ever meet up with a dude named Khan?" And Spock was like, "Yeah." He said, "I promised I would never get
Yeah.
involved, but I got to get involved on this one because Khan is the worst of the worst."
Right.
And he
Right.
helped them. He helped them defeat Khan. But had they been on point with their missions, what they're supposed to do, they would have found the Botany Bay. They would have released Khan, and then they would have put Khan on City Alpha 5, which was Star Trek 2, the Rafter Khan, when they were trying to use the Genesis Project. And then that's how Kirk and Khan came to battle again. Spock dies, Kirk beats him, but in this one, Kirk dies, Spock beats Khan physically, and they bring Kirk back to life with some of Khan's blood because Khan is genetically engineered. He's genetically superior
Right.
to
Right.
humans.
Mm-hmm.
So they also use that to explain how in the very, very, very early series they use Khan and his people to explain how when you watch the
Ricardo
original series, how
Montalban.
Klingons, how the Klingons don't have no forehead ridges, they look like regular people. So
Oh
they did
shit.
an episode on Enterprise, and they bridged that gap of why the Klingons look like that.
Huh.
And then when you get to Star Trek Discovery, they look a little different, and even in the Star Trek Kelvin time, they still look a little different because they still had their human DNA on because they were experimenting with augments. They were trying to make genetically superior Klingons, and they just failed. It didn't pan out.
Right. That's deep, man.
But I can go deep. We can go deep on Star
We
Trek.
can go
I
deep
can
on
get
stuff,
deep for you, bro.
but it's
But you had the one guy died. What's his name? Yelvik, Anton Yelich. He died making it.
mhm.
Remember he had the car accident, or he like fell out the car or something like that. Got caught in the seatbelt,
Mhm.
and the car dragged him down the driveways and ran him over or something like that.
Yeah, Anton Yelkin. Yeah, the young
Yeah,
kid. Nah, it
Yelkin.
was he was down. He was getting the mail or some shit, and the truck just came rolling back, and he tried to, and it hit him like in his own driveway and shit. That was fucked up because that kid, he was a good actor too. And he had
Yeah.
he had a bright future, bro. He was about to blow up too. But
Yeah, he was, man. So
we just
it's
hit our my bad. I didn't mean to cut, but it's been 2 hours, man, and
no.
I do have to I gotta go. But we will be back Wednesday, and my homeboy King Kojo, who is been on the show a bunch of times. He's an MC and an artist. He paints. He does these amazing pieces and portraits and shit. We've had him on the show a few times. He's got a dope track out that I never heard before, but he's gonna come on Wednesday, so he'll be here. And we'll be here Wednesday, Saturday, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. usually, sometimes 6:45. Okay. But yeah, we here, man, 3 times a week live for y'all. Y'all know where we be at and what time we'll be there. And don't forget to check out rushxbeyond.com, vintage rush, and check out these dope, amazing t-shirts that they got over there. And thank you, sir. And we'll see y'all Wednesday. And big shout out to the if this is your first time seeing the show, we really appreciate you. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment in the comment section, and salute Raw Talk, Raw Deal, Norin Rad, Comic Crusaders, Diamond Onyx, Slade Wilson, Lito's Way, Original Origin, Cooks 24. I think that's everybody who chatted. And you know what I'm saying? We love y'all. Salute. Best show on YouTube. Thank y'all. Hey man, thank y'all for coming, man, and welcome to the show. And we'll see you Wednesday, brother. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.